Hello?
Hi, Mao.
Hi, what's up?
Hi. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Hmm.
What's up?
Okay. Maybe I'm just being retarded, but like, is there any like, what do you mean by it just looked like normal couple shit to me?
I don't think that's normal couple shit, and I think if you think that that's normal couple shit, you're like delusional.
Okay. Maybe it is true that I'm delusional. Maybe I have, just had crazy shit happen to me before. Um,
I don't think
okay,
it's
well,
normal to harass your partner relentlessly and not give them space when they request it. I think to be clear, also, I think everybody's abusive, or everybody will be abusive, right? I don't think like there is perfect people. I think people are going to make mistakes, and I think people are going to get in over their heads. Especially
okay.
if you're like 19, you've never had a relationship before, and this is like the first girl you've had over, and you're friends with benefits, and you're possessive, and you want to keep having sex with her, uh, because it's like the first person you're able to consistently have sex with. I think it's super realistic that he fucked up. I think the issue comes not that he fucked up, but how he responded to it. Instead of hearing the girl say, "Hey, I want some space. I need you to leave me alone for a little bit," instead of saying like, oh, "Hey, I fucked up. Let me know when you're ready to talk." He instead follows her around, chases her around, continues to pester her, continues to try to talk to her when she's requesting him to leave her alone. When she is
Hmm.
laying out saying, "Hey, you doing this is making me upset. It is triggering a trauma response," stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, and he doesn't listen to that or respond to that. I don't think that's good. I think that's bad. It would be the exact same thing if you say, "Hey, I'm not comfortable with you calling me a pedophile," and then I
Hmm.
continue to call you a pedophile. That's not normal friend stuff. That's me
Hmm.
continuing to cross your boundary that you've tried to set. So you probably wouldn't be happy with that, and that probably isn't something good that's going on, right?
Sure.
So she has set a
Okay.
boundary. She has reiterated it, and she
Right.
has explained why she set that boundary, and he's continued to overstep it.
Right. Okay. So I understand that. However, from the recording, he seems to have said, what was it that he said? Okay, I respect your space or something. I'm gonna go heat up a snack and I'm gonna go to bed, right? Isn't that kind of respecting her boundary?
But he didn't. There's like 6 calls where he's repeatedly going towards her and trying to push her boundaries and trying to be weird about it, right? Obviously, if we look at one call and
Did
we
I miss
pretend that
it?
this is the
Oh.
there are, did you only listen to one call?
I think there's 3 calls that I listened to, but the 2 other calls, like the audio first of all, the audio quality is horrible.
I
Obviously,
listened
I'm
to
not
it
gonna
compressed. So
Sure, sure, sure. But like, obviously, I'm not gonna fault her for horrible audio noises. But okay, listen, she doesn't have to breathe so loud. Okay, all right, that's one thing. Number two is, um, it kind of feels like for the other two, it is him compromising, right? Like for the other two, he seems to be saying, "Hey, by the way, I apologize. This is why I'm wrong, and these are the reasons why I'm wrong." Right? It seems like that's a genuine communication kind of thing between couples. No?
I think he's being abusive and she calls him abusive. And he's like, "Don't call me abusive. I've been through real abuse." He's almost delegitimizing what she's been through, and he's delegitimizing what she's calling what's going on. And I do think concurrent harassment can be verbal abuse. I don't think it's abuse in the like. Obviously, I don't think like he's hitting her, right? Um, but I do think it's like verbal abuse, 100%. If he's continuing to harass her and go against her will, um, it's like sure you can pick and choose those parts where he's kind like I don't know. I when he tried to collect fault, it
Hmm.
sounded to me more so that he was trying to downplay or gaslight.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not good, by the way. I'm not defending that, right? But in a regular relationship, well, not even in a regular relationship, like in a bad relationship, right? Like to me, I would probably label it as a bad relationship if you are trying to gaslight the other person or you're trying to downplay, the other person's issues, right? However, in my opinion, right, like for somebody who isn't that familiar with relationships, that seems kind of normal, no? Like that seems like to be something where you would get into a fight with your significant other, and one person could just be downplaying, like
I think
gaslighting,
getting into
whatever,
fights
right?
is I think getting into fights is normal, and being abusive in a fight is normal, and I think gaslighting to some extent is normal, and that
Mm-hmm.
probably will happen eventually, especially if you're younger. Especially like if I get into a fucking relationship right now, I'm probably going to
Mm-hmm.
be abusive. I'm probably going to do some insane shit. I'm probably going to do
Right.
some fucking crazy shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um but I don't think the action of abuse in itself is irredeemable or like super super bad, because I do think it's relatively normal until you learn how to control your emotions, and I don't think you're going to be able to control your emotions properly until you've actually been in one of those situations, right?
Sure.
um
You also
I
agree
think his
that you can't
response to
be.
it
Mm-hmm.
is what
Oh,
is bad to me.
sure. I agree with that. Right. Like his response to the allegations is bad, specifically, right? Wait, sorry. Did you say
uh
something? Because I didn't hear you.
no, I mean, I was talking more so his response to her, but yeah, I guess I don't like his response either. But I'm looking at the encounter standalone without the response, because obviously the response came like a year later, so I don't
Like
think we
the
can really
actual,
look at it to determine.
like the actual recording.
Yeah, so this took place in like 2023, and
Mm.
then Cameron's response took place in 2024, and now it's 2025. Does that make sense?
Was he like 18 or 17 around that time?
He was like 18, 19 when this happened.
Right. Okay. Some people are morons, okay? At 19. I mean, here's the thing, okay? Again, what it seems like to be, because okay, do you know what a bad relationship looks like? This is not me trying to insult you,
Uh,
by the way. This is just like me trying to gauge where your standards are. Like, what's the difference between a bad relationship and a really, really abusive one to the point where it's like crazy?
I don't know if I can give you an answer to that. You kind of have I look at, it's like asking me what food tastes good based on the look. Like I could try, but it probably won't be a
Sure,
good
just
explanation. I have
right,
to taste the
right,
food. I have to look at the specific relationship to
right,
determine what's
right.
abusive or what's not. What I do
The
know is
mm-hmm,
I think what Cameron did was abusive, right? And I think that's fine. I don't think
mm-hmm,
it's I don't think that's like fucking crazy, okay? It's probably
right,
fine. If
right.
you've been in a relationship, you've probably been abused or had been abusive at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I think for me, it kind of crosses the line is how he chose to respond to it. How he chose to like when she's like, "Hey, I need you to leave me alone." Day after day after day after day. In some moments, she's like crying and visibly or verbally shaking. You can hear she is shivering. She's hiding underneath a blanket and she's begging
Oh,
him, pleading with him, "Please leave me alone. I don't want to be near you. What you are
dude.
doing right now, it is mentally straining me. You are hurting me." And instead of listening to her, instead of leaving her alone, he tries to gaslight her and he tries to convince her that what he did is not that bad.
Okay, maybe I'm just being retarded, but like when I was listening to the shivering voice clips or whatever, it sounded kind of fake. No, like it sounded like she was pretending, right?
From what I
Or am I
understand,
tripping
it
out here?
doesn't
I don't
seem
know.
like she's lied about anything, and it seems like Cameron's lied about a lot. So I don't know if I have enough false charitability, I guess, to label her as a
Mm-hmm.
liar there. I think it sounds real, but it could be fake. We just don't have enough evidence. I think innocent
I
until
don't
proven
know.
guilty, unless it's proven that she's like done something like this before, or unless it's proven that she's you know,
Sure, sure.
like whatever.
So,
I think
so
probably she's
right.
innocent of like faking it. I think she's probably being genuine there.
Sure, sure. Listen, people react differently under different situations, right? I'm willing to, agree to that. However, the reason why I ask you like what's your standard for a bad relationship versus an abusive one is not just to gauge your standards, but also gauge your perception, right? Because from my
Dude, you're like pissing me
perspective,
out. Go up against the fucking light post behind him, and then you can pick up the loot and then also get a critical shot. You're like actually pissing me off.
oh, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, what did I do? Holy shit.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you go fucking the light post, the blue sign to the right of him. You can collect the loot, stay in cover, and get an ambush position.
Wait, you're talking about my gameplay? Oh, bro, I'm talking to you
Yes.
right now. I'm talking to you right now. Obviously, I'm not gonna do the best gameplay. What the fuck?
Fuck Jesus Christ, dude. Okay.
No, the reason I'm thinking is because the Advent Trooper has Overwatch. That's why.
Do you
Does
not
that
have
make
a
sense?
ranger?
Do you know what Overwatch is?
Yeah, do you not have a ranger, which makes it so you don't trigger Overwatch?
No, I'm at the beginning of the game. I keep on restarting the game because I keep failing. This is like legendary with like over 200 mods. It's like over 250 mods.
All right.
Wait. Somebody in chat said like she took a GoFundMe money and ran. What's that all about?
She set up a GoFundMe. I believe she says in her document, at least, that she set up a GoFundMe for support. There was never any like promise to get that money back, promise to refund, promise to use that money on anything other than herself, because it was literally a promise or like you gave her money out of charitability. You were like, hey, I'm giving this to you. You can do what you want with it. Like, help yourself to whatever. So I don't really care if she could have bought a fucking Nintendo Switch with that money. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't really give a fuck.
Like,
I don't care about that. I've never heard anything about this, by the way. So I don't know if she's actually stolen money or scammed or done whatever.
That's fine. That's fine. I guess what I'm looking for. Is like, him, like, not preventing her from finding work, or trying not to feed her, or him intentionally trying to say like, oh hey, I'm just trying to keep you skinny, I'm trying whatever. That to me is not just a bad relationship. That's a very, very abusive one, to the point of like just beyond calling it a bad relationship, right? Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking for something like that, right? The thing is that
he threatened to kick her out multiple times whenever he did something she didn't like.
Okay,
and he would hold over the rent and the power and the water over her head.
That's fine, in my opinion. Okay, like in a regular relationship, obviously you're gonna be like reducing the water bills.
I think we're not gonna. I think we're not gonna find middle ground.
What?
If you think extorting someone like that is fine, if you think extorting someone like that is fine,
hold on.
Then we have very different definitions of what a relationship is, and I don't think we're going to find middle ground. I think what I think a relationship is very different from you. We're talking about the color red, and then you're describing the color blue. Okay, you may see blue, but I don't. I see red right now. Okay, we're talking about two very different things. It seems.
Hold on.
I don't think extorting someone like that is ever okay, right?
But like if they have like discussed it beforehand, right? Like if they've discussed, hey, by the way, are we gonna agree? We both agree that we want to lower the water rent, right? And in addition, is she contributing any of the rent? Is she contributing any of the water bills?
She was in an abusive situation, and he offered to take her in and pay all of the rent and house her for free.
Okay. So wait, so he's paying everything. Then obviously it should be his
call. He's paying everything. He's paying everything after he's taken her out of an abusive situation, and now he's holding over her head her being homeless if she doesn't act how he wants. He is saying, if you don't do this, if you don't play by my rules, play how I want, I'm going to make you homeless in a city where you have no friends, where you have no family, where you have no job, where you have no opportunity. That's bad. That's extortion.
Well, that's fine. If you no longer want her to be under, it is fine, because if you no longer want somebody to be under your house, then yeah, of course. But
that's not what's going on. He's not kicking her out traditionally. He is extorting her. He is blackmailing her to get what he wants. Do you not understand that?
To get sex?
I would assume sex is probably part of it, but I don't think that's ever verbally stated.
There was, yeah, exactly. That's the point, right? The thing is
I would assume it's more so behavioral issues, like he says, right?
Sure, but I guess the point is, okay, do you agree that people can break up over lack of sex or lack of other like things or necessities in a relationship?
I don't care. I don't think you should be extorting someone due to that.
Wait.
I think extortion is bad and extorting someone is abusive, and I don't think you should do that in a relationship.
Okay, hold on. What if you okay, so hypothetical time.
Do you think extorting someone is bad and abusive?
Yeah, it's not good, but it just
okay. So you think what Cameron did was abusive? So we don't disagree here. It seems like you're fishing for a disagreement.
Well, yeah, because we do disagree. Can I just give my hypothetical?
No, we don't.
We do.
I don't want to talk about hypotheticals. I want to talk about the situation. I'm telling you, I think he is abusive. I think he extorted her and he acted in an abusive manner. It doesn't seem like you actually disagree.
Yeah, but just
And
because
then when it seems like you do disagree, it seems like you're pulling like this weird like, well, actually, I don't think this is abusive when it kind of clearly is, and then you kind of go back on it a little bit. So what do we actually agree on? Because it seems like you do think he was acting abusive here.
Okay, because you use the word abuse in that way, I'm no longer saying abuse is not proven. Abuse is not proven, in my opinion.
All right,
Because
I
you're using
don't care.
you're using it in a way that I completely disagree with. Like, it's insane.
Okay, anything else?
Wait, that's it? You're not gonna fight?
I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere. The last debate we had, it went in circles and looped, and then eventually, in retrospect, you conceded. I don't want to spend like another 10 minutes arguing this just to have us not go anywhere, and then in a week you're gonna concede.
Just one hypothetical.
It's just a waste of time. If we can't agree fundamentally that extorting someone is bad and abusive, then I don't know where we're gonna get with this.
I don't know why you said I concede, because the thing is that I said all I said based off of my own experiences. I didn't concede to you because of your argument specifically. So I don't know why you said that. Does that make sense? Also, in addition, so let's just say you take in 2 homeless little children, okay? And let's just say the 2 children,
I'm not participating in hypotheticals.
Let's just say a homeless man completely fucked up.
I'm not participating in hypotheticals. When you took them in. I'm not participating in hypotheticals.
Would you not kick them out?
I'm not participating in hypotheticals. It's not going to go anywhere with you.
Okay, here's my opinion. If she is fucking his shit up, he should kick her out. Yeah.
How is she fucking his shit up?
I don't know. It depends. What is she doing? He has the right to, right? He is the one that is paying for everything, you're still okay. Right?
Foodshops. She didn't do anything like that. You've invented a scenario where she hasn't even done anything to justify your belief here. What has she done? What shit has she fucked up?
You wouldn't.
What shit has she fucked up? What shit has she fucked up?
I don't know.
Exactly. You don't fucking have anything. Anything else? Anything else?
Because it's coming from her side. Anything else? That's why. It's coming from her side.
Do you have anything else?
Okay, I mean, if you don't want to,
it seems like to me you don't have anything.
Listen. If you don't want to engage, it's fine. Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm not wanting to engage in hypotheticals. I'm not saying I don't want to engage in the argument in and of itself. I'm telling you, I will engage in the argument. I just don't want to fucking circle around with hypotheticals daily. We have a situation. We can look at it. We can see what happened here, and then we can talk about that. I'm not going to do some weird hypothetical game with you where it's going to go in circles. I don't see that being helpful.
All right, sure. I think it's fine to regulate the shower time. I think that's fine. Why the fuck not? He's the one paying, right? This is the actual scenario, no?
I don't care about regulating shower time.
Also, why the fuck do you care if she's going to become homeless? Who cares? So
why do you care about the Cameron story then?
He isn't obligated to house her.
Why do you care about the Cameron story? Answer a question when I fucking ask it to you. Jesus Christ. It's pulling teeth. Fuck. Because you're Asian. You should be a fucking dentist or a doctor. You should be able to do this shit. Come on.
Hold on. Because
why do you care about the Cameron shit?
Because I care about how much I disagree with you.
Why do you care about the Cameron shit?
Okay, dude, you need to like lower your degrees by like
answer the fucking question. Okay. You have one more chance. If you don't, I'm leaving.
Okay, maybe you should leave because you sound crazy right now. What the dude? What the fuck just happened there? Did I say something? What? Dude, I didn't even insult him. I didn't even insult him or anything. Sounds like when you said everyone is abusive, it was projection. Dude, I was actually talking about the facts of the situation too, but like he wouldn't even engage on that. Like it's just... By the way, the question I want to ask is, okay, if you take in a fucking homeless person, okay, and the homeless person completely fucks your shit up, shouldn't you have the right to kick them out? Like, why should you, like, are you really going to tell me, oh, the house owner is obligated to have the homeless person, because what if the homeless person ends up with no home? Right? That was literally my hypothetical, right? Morale is emotionally invested and thinks you're bad faith, maybe. But I wasn't being bad faith. Fuck. But I wasn't. Dude, okay, sorry. I'm just frustrated, okay? Fuck, that was such a frustrating interaction. I feel like we could actually get to the bottom of it, but we didn't get to the bottom of it because he just quit early. There isn't evidence of abuse. Dude, I feel gaslit, okay? I feel maybe I'm because the entire time I was covering it, by the way, the entire time I was covering it, okay? I was literally telling you guys. I was literally telling you guys, am I wrong? Am I wrong, guys? Am I wrong, guys? Like I'm constantly questioning myself. I feel like it's unfair for the home person in the relationship to have the weight of the other person's liveliness. I agree. I agree. This oh god, what was that one scenario? What was that one scenario called? Because he got tired of trying to get to you on his point? No, it just sounded like he got pissy that I didn't agree with him, and that's it. That's literally it, right? Like that's it. And by the way, he sounded like genuinely angry, like not just playful angry. He sounded genuinely angry. Like, what did I do? I'm so confused. Okay, I feel like there's like this frustration I need to vent out, okay? Oh my god. The worst part is that he backseats your gameplay. Yeah, but I'm using the gameplay as a vehicle for what I'm talking about, right? Like I'm not particularly focusing on the gameplay, just kind of weird to bring it up. Whatever, it's not a big deal, okay? It was funny, okay? Unban me? Okay, I did. Yeah, you can return. You were way more extra with Dickers, though. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Let me in? Yeah, sure. Hey, join the weight room lobby, Silver King. Cameron trying to destroy your relationship with Mao and he doesn't even know about it. By the way, the fact that I'm even defending Cameron in the first place should show that I'm good faith, no? Because I have every reason to be anti-Cameron, right? Every reason. Especially off the back of a recent betrayal. So it's like, why do I care? Well, I care about my opinions? Hello? Yeah, what's up?
Hey, how's my microphone? I haven't really used this in forever.
Yeah, that's okay. I can hear you. Your voice is fine. What's up?
Hey, so why do you care? I'm kidding. I don't really give a fuck about that. I know you're just really at the end of the day, it's just content. So just two questions or two things that I kind of picked up. So is he saying that? Okay, so like, what is your opinion when it comes to like if it's abuse or not? I guess that would be my first.
Okay, I guess I would say like depending on all the clips I've seen so far, it really does seem like as if it like depending on the before and after of when the recording starts and stops, that it can totally be part of a long fight or a long conversation about something, and it isn't particularly pointing to anything where I would go, yeah, you know what, this is like immense abuse. The abuse is so insane to the point where it's very provably abuse and shit, right? So I guess what I'm looking for are phrases such as, well, I have to like restrict your calories because I want you to stay skinny and sexy or something. Or I was looking for something like, hey, the shower time, if you don't, I'm going to prevent you from eating on purpose. Like I will actually physically block you from eating if you act in a way that I don't
Right.
approve of or something, right? In my opinion, yeah, that's abuse. That's like heavy abuse, right? So I'm looking for that stuff. But the thing is that they were arguing, like he was saying stuff like hey, I apologize. This is why I'm wrong. I'm being unreasonable. This is not me. I'm sorry for acting like this, right? In one particular clip, right? And then in another clip, he was like, okay, listen, I'll leave you alone. I'm gonna get a snack. And then I'm gonna go to bed, okay? And then you can literally hear him microwaving popcorn in the background, right? So he is getting a snack, assumably before going to bed. So I just don't really see like I'm sorry, I just don't really see the abuse here. It seems like he is doing like normal things.
They live together, right?
Yeah, they live together, yeah. But like
Same space.
presumably, so and by the way, and here's the thing, I am sympathetic to her position, right? Like
Right.
she was living in a car before, right? Like assumably homeless in a car. So
Mhm.
obviously she's looking for a place to stay, but I would argue that, there's going to be places to stay where you're not going to be paying rent. Well, here's the thing, if you don't pay rent, then you better follow the rules, right? Like the thing is that if you're going to
Right.
be living at someone else's home, you better be following the rules because oh my god, you don't have to pay rent? How insane is that,
Uh,
right? I don't know, dude.
yeah. Hugged or touch. So she made that
Oh,
a boundary.
okay.
I am a very touchy-feely person.
Right.
I felt a sort of different way, when my partner's telling me not to touch her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. Nobody's telepathic. You can't ever read somebody else's mind. So whatever the definition of that boundary is, different things. So one problem that specific scenario, for example,
Mm-hmm.
is that she will sometimes tell me, hey, I feel like you don't like me. And I would just ask her, what do you mean? Sometimes you don't touch me. I'm like, well, you specify that you don't like to be touched, like hugged or whatever. So I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to keep that boundary. And I can't specifically know at all times when you want me to hug you, when you want me to put my arm around you. So
Yeah.
unless you're like, we have some kind of like code word, like, you say bananas or something, I'm not going to know.
Okay.
So it's better that I walk on, eggshells and not do it rather than do it and piss you off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously
Yeah.
that relationship ended because we couldn't ever, you know. So
Compromise.
sometimes, yeah, and sometimes
Yeah.
boundaries are like a clash of different behaviors. Some people sometimes
Yeah.
just don't get along, and that's
Mm-hmm.
common. That's normal. That doesn't even necessarily mean that it's abusive. It could come off as abusive to a lot of different people, but it's just, it doesn't work out, and that's it. Um, the other thing is like, I don't want to sound like I'm victim blaming, but
Mm-hmm.
if you are homeless, you're the situation you're in. If somebody else takes you in, um, and maybe because she's young, she didn't really think this through, but and
Right.
hindsight 2020,
Mm-hmm.
you have to kind of realize that you're at the mercy of whatever or whoever's taking you in, for better
Exactly.
or worse.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, my question
and this
my
is
question
probably
is
something that women were this is a little trad take, I guess.
right.
Women back in the day were probably more aware of this than
Mm-hmm.
women nowadays because women nowadays are a little more independent. They don't really have to think about that as much. But like back in the day, if you were getting married off to some dude because
Mm-hmm.
either your family arranged it or it's just the way it's gonna be, you went into that relationship knowing, hey, this dude, he's gonna take over everything. If things don't work out, I either have to stick through it because I'm fucked,
Right.
or I walk away and try to make it on my own, which is also not a great scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But you went in there consciously knowing, like, yeah, I'm basically this is the power dynamic that I'm falling into.
By
Um,
the way, one thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way is that hold on, somebody says stream died.
oh shit,
Is my did my stream die? Internet
you're still
issues?
screaming on me.
Um Internet issues. Seems good now, it's better. Okay, I'll continue them. Right. So one part of me that rubs me the wrong way is that we took away all the autonomy from her, right? Is that
Yeah.
now it just seems as though that she can do no wrong, right? Like, were you
Hmm.
not wrong for not like looking into who the fuck you were moving in with and then being surprised when you move in with somebody who is potentially abusive, right? Or are you no longer choosing to move in? Like, here's the thing, okay? If he kidnapped her, and then forced her to live with him, absolutely it's
Totally
his
different.
wrong,
Totally
right?
different scenario.
Because
Yes.
he is the one, he's the only one that's deciding. He takes away all the autonomy from her, right? But now it just
Hmm.
feels like all of commentary are the kidnappers, right? Where, they are the one that's kidnapping her, right? Taking all the autonomy from her and then laying all the blame on Cameron, right? That's what it kind of
Yeah.
feels like to me. So, this is why it kind of rubs me the wrong way, because I'm genuinely trying to think about this from the perspective of commentary from people like Kuihman or, Mrao or Dickers or whatever, right? Like, I'm trying to think about, I'm genuinely trying to think about like what the fuck he did wrong, right? Specifically. But I genuinely did think that he was trying to compromise. He was trying to do all these things. He was apologizing, right? He was apologizing to somebody that he was housing himself, right? So this is why it kind of seems kind of weird, right? And here's the thing, okay? If it's true that he tried to be rapey when she directly got out of the car, and she felt like maybe it was wrong afterwards, why didn't she leave? Right? Why didn't she leave?
Mm.
She should have every agency to leave because she had a car, right? She had a car. And I guess what I'm looking for as well is that, if he was really trying to trap her in a scenario where she cannot leave, well, why was she mentioning that she needs to interview for a job, right? Why did she mention that she was trying to get a job? Because the thing is that if you're deliberately trying to manipulate somebody into like being dependent on you, you would prevent them from getting a job, because having a job leads to financial independence, and having financial independence gives them more agency and more ability to leave a certain situation, right? So this is why, like, I'm a little bit, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm being gaslit. I feel like I'm mind fucked.
Do you think she's mentally well or mentally
I mean,
dependent?
well, I would imagine somebody who's living out of a van who is homeless can't possibly be mentally well all that much, no?
I mean, it's possible. I guess I'm coming from the perspective of um, like how dependent was she emotionally wise on him? Because that could be seen as abuse in some ways to some people.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, like how emotionally dependent she might have been on him. This is something I see a lot with women.
Um,
Well, maybe it's
I
just a
mean, I mean,
circle of friends
I mean,
I
I
have,
mean,
but
I mean,
like
hold on.
I
If she is emotionally dependent on him, isn't that like a skill issue? Like, I'm sorry that you
yes.
didn't put enough effort into your mental improvement to get out of scenarios where your emotions depend on someone, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, that's a skill
This is
issue on
where I
her
try to
part, right? Yeah.
yeah, this is where I try to be super careful on like what's considered like enfatizing the person and where
Mm-hmm.
your like self dependency lies. Like
Right.
I've met plenty of women in my life where like I'll give you an example. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna say her name obviously, but I met with this girl who I dated when I was 20,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been like 10 years. She like hit me up. It's like, hey Jorge, oh I just said my name.
Oh no,
No,
dude,
but it doesn't
fucking
matter.
dude.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like,
Okay.
hey, Silver King. I'm in the city. Do you want to hang out? Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Let's hang out. So like,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking. This was like last year. She tells me about like how she's in a relationship with this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's horrible. Obviously, she's giving me her perspective, and I'm assuming
Right.
there's got to be obviously another side to this. But she's
Mm-hmm.
telling me like, oh, okay, yeah, he's not getting a job, this and that. And in the back of my head, there's that constant question of like, why don't you just leave?
Right.
Um, and but at the end of that whole combo, she tells me, well, I'm planning to like, do better for me. I'm gonna leave, live him, and what have you, what have you, what have you.
Oh.
But there's that
Mm.
lingering me on the back of my head that's like, no, you're not going to. Cap. Because I've seen this so many times, you're not going to. The way you're describing the
Oh.
situation, because
Mm-hmm.
there's a way that somebody describes situations. There's bad situations where it sounds like they almost sort of enjoy the drama of it. I don't know if you ever
Right.
met those kind of people. Like
Oh, like
they're not this.
people who enjoy like the adrenaline rush of like a abusive relationship, maybe abusive dynamic.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
really hard to describe. But you know when somebody's telling you like a TV,
Oh, like
like
Stockholm
they're almost like
syndrome, right?
yeah, like they're
Yeah.
not describing a bad situation. They're describing something exciting, but they're not. They don't realize that they're doing that.
Oh.
So I knew like immediately you're not going to do that. And I try to tell her like be kind,
Oh, yeah.
be friendly about it. Like yeah, you probably should do this, do that, but like in a friendly manner, not like in a forceful
Yeah,
way.
and by the way, this is why I actually think it's relevant to ask for the other person's relationship experience, because the thing is that
Yes.
your opinions can differ greatly based on how much how high your virgin level is, right? Like I guess that's what I'm talking about. Is like
No, absolutely.
yeah, or your relationship level, your social skills, right? Or whatever, right? But like obviously people are going to be sensitive to that kind of question, but I think it's really relevant to situations such as that, right? Like I'm sorry, but it really is relevant. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm just sort of curious how like attached she was to him because it's possible
Hmm.
that she built that savior complex, which women do very often. I don't think it's as common on men,
Yeah.
but with women
Yeah.
is very often seen that they have like this savior complex of like he saved me, he's
Hmm.
my salvation, and or also it also depends on the person on what they deem to be worthy of themselves. Like
Right.
they never really experience, and you'll see this with like relationships like self-sabotaging too. Like a woman that experienced a very bad relationship will often self-sabotage when a good relationship comes around because
Yeah.
they don't know what it's like to have it good, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Yes, I agree. And also, like, dude, yeah, okay. I'm just glad you came along to clear things up because, listen, you're kind of
Hey,
a giga
many
chad, not
years,
gonna lie,
many
right?
years of bad experiences and good ones.
Yeah.
There's a
By the
reason
way,
why I'm single.
were you joking? Were you joking when that one time you said you had like multiple girls proposing to you?
No, I was not.
Okay, all right. I have no idea what the fuck went down there, but okay, that's interesting.
I think I was relatively young at the time, and I
Oh.
knew that I was
Mm-hmm.
not going to be able to. See, this is I always being. No, I'm not gonna say it because then it sounds like I'm just
Mm-hmm.
bragging. But
No, I'm
I'm
letting
just
you
gonna say
brag.
it.
I'm giving you space to brag. Okay, because remember, relationship experience is relevant here, right? So obviously, you can't just like speak out the both corners of your mouth. So I want you to actually say how much relationship experience you have. Well,
I
yeah.
think it's very good. This is
Hmm.
probably good relationship advice for anybody. It's very good to be upfront about your intentions. If you want to have
Hmm.
purely a sexual encounter with somebody, tell them
Hmm.
that. Just be upfront about it. If they're down for it, they're down for it. You don't get any headaches about it. You both move on. If you're not
Hmm.
down for it, then that's that. Just be respectful about it. If you're in for something a little casual, be upfront about it. If you want something more long term, be upfront about it. So like for example, that woman, I made it clear to her that I was not looking for a relationship, that I wanted just
Hmm.
something casual. I was in my early 20s. Why did I want to get married?
Yeah.
She obviously started catching feelings, and
Hmm.
at that point, I decided, I think it's better for both of us to just end it here. You're
Yeah.
obviously looking for something else, and I will not be able to provide you that. I don't want to waste your time,
Okay.
and that will solve a lot of problems just in general. Like if I feel like if, what's his name, Cameron?
Cameron. Yes.
Yeah, like if Cameron was like, hey, listen, I know you're homeless. Come live at my place. Occasionally you just give me a little bit of sex. You can stay there, and when we're done, we're done.
Jesus.
You can leave, and just call it
Jesus,
good.
dude. Oh my
That would save so
God.
many headaches.
Wait, hold on, quickly.
You
What's
don't,
your
you
body
don't
count?
agree?
What's your body count? What's your body count?
I don't know. I didn't ever kept count. It's gotta be
Yeah.
gotta be more than 50 because of one time I said it and somebody called me a slut. So yeah, 50,
Wow.
40, something like that.
Holy shit. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I don't really keep count. I think
I
that's
just
kind of
want to let I just
you
want to
can.
let you know. I just want to let you know that you're like half of Ayla. You know who Ayla is, right?
No, I don't.
Ayla
Who's
is the
that?
porn star who is a data scientist who also talks to Destiny a lot.
No.
Okay. So the porn star has double your body count, but even the fact that you're half of her body count is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say it's probably harder for men to
Mm.
have like a higher
Yeah,
body
but
count.
like a man getting half the body count of a female porn star, that's crazy. Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah,
Interesting.
this is like a lifespan. It's not like 2 years, you know. It's like over, 10,
Okay,
12.
all right, yeah, okay. I got you. Listen, I'm just trying to prop you up, okay?
Thanks. No need. I'm on my good boy years now. I told you this.
Okay.
I've been celibate like for a while now. I'm trying to do good. I'm
Oh.
trying to do good.
Oh, that's how you discovered me, right? Is that, you have to be a super virgin right now. No?
No, okay. So this another tip to all the
Yeah.
virgins out there.
Mm.
Sex is not all it is out to be. Sometimes it will fuck you up mentally and internally. It's when people say whenever you have sex, you're giving yourself a little bit of yourself to someone else. As cringe as it fucking sounds, kind of true.
Based. I'll keep that in mind, okay? And by the way,
Yeah.
for people who are wondering, my body count is 1. It's 1.
Hey, nice. High five. Low
However,
five.
it's listen, and also in addition to that, I just want to say, like, yeah, sure, people like, sure, I'm also commenting on this issue from the perspective of like basically a virgin, right? But like the thing is that like this is why I'm trying to double check with you guys, right? This is why I'm because I feel like I have heard enough to the point where I could make a reasonable guess. This is why like I don't know. This is why I have to check in with you too. Okay. Yeah. This
Yeah.
I
No,
because I have to sanity check myself. Yeah.
the thing that rubs me the wrong way. What's his
Mhm.
name? Rao. Rao.
Yeah. Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
he kept saying that it's not it's not what he okay. I'm trying to get the quote right because I don't want to fuck it up. But
Sure.
it sounded to me like he was saying that abusive equals not normal. Like it's not something like it's uncommon, but it's
Mhm.
actually super common. So
Oh.
I just want to make the distinction though. Being abusive doesn't necessarily mean something extremely bad is happening. Like being abusive could be just like depends on the person you're asking. It could be as simple as like I told you to leave me the fuck alone, and then this person
Mhm.
just comes into the room and starts screaming at you. That isn't
Oh.
necessarily bad. That's just
Right.
that's just like relationship shit. Like people will get and people. I don't know if you're like well you. I don't know about you, but the
Mhm.
chat. Have you ever gotten in an argument with your significant other and said the most insane out of pocket shit? Because I have, and it happens.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes
No,
you
I've done
will
that
bring
before. Yeah.
you will bring
100%.
like things that they told you on the
Mhm.
most intimate moments in the heat of the moment and say it and then feel extremely bad afterwards. Like right
Yeah.
after it leaves your mouth. And it's common. It happens. Unfortunately, humans are fucked up and we say things on the moment that we don't think about. Like, hey, you remember
Right.
when you told me your dad died? Fuck your dad. Like on the hit of the moment. I hope
Yeah.
you
Like
catch that
I
like your dad.
remember,
That
dude.
that
Okay.
doesn't mean it's
Okay.
abusive.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So in the middle when I was dating someone, right? And this is why I think like this kind of stuff is nuanced, right? Is because I was in the middle of a
Yeah.
date, and then after like a few hours into the date, I said that the other woman was fat. And she was not that fat, dude. She was like overweight. But like this is a long time ago, by the way, so just so you know. But like
Yeah.
again, like I called her fat, and then she's like, "Well, you sound like a man." So again, this happened during a day and it was mutual, right? But like here's the thing,
Yeah.
depending on where you start the recording, it could come off as completely unhinged on my part or her part, right? Because the thing is that if you pause and stop, pause and stop, pause and stop, like yeah, that's yeah, it's just it gets really muddy there, right?
This is
Yeah.
why I hate when people try to
But it was
like
mutual. It
discern.
was mutual in that case, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I don't like when people try to discern a whole entire relationship out of a single clip,
Mm-hmm.
because like those are insults that they
Well,
might
it
be
wasn't a
using.
single clip.
Oh,
Well, I mean, technically, it's not a single clip. It was like multiple clips, right? But at the same time,
yeah,
it's like still, yeah, it's just okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like well, even if it's multiple, like there's so
Mm.
much context within relationships. Like um, fuck, like maybe there's like a to-go insult in the relationship that everybody always goes to. Like,
Mhm.
I hope you catch cancer like your dad, and maybe that's like the go-to insult every time there's a fight, and that sounds
Yeah.
fucked up. But like
Yeah.
maybe that's the go-to insult, and like if somebody, like if you're a Walmart and somebody else hears that shit, they're gonna be like, whoa, that's fucked up.
I
But
know.
then,
I know.
but what if the other person go-to insult every time there's a
Mhm.
fight? The follow-up is, I hope you get run over like your mother did. It's it's a toxic situationship probably, but hey, that is the go-to insult, and like it's coming on that. Is it good? No, I don't agree it's good. But people say fucked up shit when they're mad and upset. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like yeah. I mean, like the more relation. Okay, yeah, that's all true. Yeah. That's true.
This is why like I say relationship are like the rainbows. Like you
Mhm.
you shouldn't judge all the relationships based on yours. I think it's easier to say what's really messed up, like obviously hitting somebody.
Mhm.
Uh,
Right.
obviously,
Big fuck up.
the
Yeah.
yep, obviously demeaning somebody with like recurring patterns is bad. Uh, um, obviously not respecting somebody's like personal property, like if they have a computer and you
Mhm.
smash it,
Yeah.
there's I think it's easier to say what's bad than what is just common, if that makes sense.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what rubs me the wrong way, him saying that, it's common. But that's just my take. I'll let you get back to your stream. I know you got other things to cover probably.
No, no, I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate your willingness to jump in and provide a fresh perspective on things. I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate you. Okay? Thank you for yeah, being with me
Hear
all
you.
this time, okay? Yeah.
Thank you, mi amiga. So, have
Yeah.
a good one.
All
Peace out.
right. Bye. Okay, let us finally move on. Okay. That was wholesome. That was nice. Anyone else having internet issues? We good, right? W caller, yeah. Silver King is always super. He's very normie pilled. He's extremely normie pilled, dude. It's great. I hate when streamers call another streamer's words abusive. OMG, I cringe too much when Destiny was Kelly Jane. You're being abusive? Oh my god. Also, Dino, hi. Who are you? What happened? What happened to Base Achiever? What is this? Okay, okay, sorry.
too.
I have to take a look at what the fuck.
He
Is Mrao joined Dicker's stream after? Oh. 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 Oh.
But at times I miss his old content. Nice guy though, back in 2020. Took a bunch of
Oh god, they're all just coping in a completely different voice call. I got left out. I know. They're they're probably all just circle jerking in another voice call about this. Oh my god, dude. Okay, all right, that's enough. Okay. Oh.
Why do we do this? Well, we did this to figure out if there's any correct way to protest against Israel that is currently doing a genocide, that is an apartheid state. And the answer is, if you listen to Asmongold and Ethan Klein, then no, there isn't. Autonomy Productions did this fantastic thing where he compiled exactly how to.
Wow, we're actually moving back to politics. What do you know?